As Kendall Wright was stuffing the few remaining belongings from his locker into a bag, he glanced across the locker room at Mitch Trubisky, the man who targeted him a season-high 11 times in the Bears' 337 romp over the Bengals on Sunday at Paul Brown Stadium. "Mitch played lights out," Wright said. "Look at that smile. Don't he look like he played lights out putting his gel on his hair? He played lights out. He's a young quarterback, but he's getting better every week. That's the main thing. He's progressing every week. He'll get a year under his belt, go do all the things that smart quarterbacks do in the offseason, and he'll get better." That's where the Bears are in the final month of the season. The calendar is being flipped to 2018 and everyone knows it. What matters most on the field right now is how performances can affect next season more than next week, and no one is so naive that they fail to recognize that. Change remains inevitable at Hall is Hall, and those with a stake in the future are doing everything they can to accentuate building blocks for the future. Trubisky is unquestionably the biggest piece to the puzzle, and he enjoyed what was easily his finest game of the season, completing 25 of 32 passes for 271 yards and a 2-count and running for a score against a decimated Bengals defense. Wright caught 10 passes for 107 yards, becoming the Bears' first 100-yard receiver this season, and the team racked up a season-high 232 rushing yards, with Jordan Howard carrying 23 times for 147 yards and 2 two-counts. Rookie Tarik Cohen added 80 yards on 12 carries. The win ended a 5-game losing streak and guarantees the Bears 49 will finish with a better record than last season. They halted a streak of 35 consecutive games without scoring 28 points. After totaling a meager 8 first downs in each of the last 2 games, they racked up 29 and held the ball for 38 minutes, 9 seconds in rolling up a season-high 482 yards. The offense needed 4 plays to go 51 yards and take a 60 lead on a 21-yard Howard run on the first possession. The first time this season they've reached the end zone on the opening drive. "We knew from the first drive that we had the opportunity to rack up the yards on them," right tackle Bobby Massey said. "It's just a boost for morale. We needed this win. Locker room back at Hollis will be a little looser. Coaches will be a little bit happier. You just enjoy coming into work." It was everything the Bears were supposed to look like beginning the second week of November. That's where the disconnect for 2017 hit after the Bears beat the Ravens in overtime on the road, disposed of a good Panthers team at home, and then put up a commendable effort in a loss in New Orleans. They got a week off and responded at the start of the second half of their schedule with an undisciplined, sloppy loss at home to the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers, the first of 3 consecutive home losses. This big showing was too little, too late to prevent significant franchise change as soon as the season ends. The Bengals 58 were limping into this affair after a brutal home loss Monday night that, for practical purposes, knocked them out of the playoff race and left them hurting. They were missing 5 defensive starters, including 75% of the secondary. The Bengals knew their season ended Monday and they played like it. "I'm at a loss for words," said Bengals coach Marvin Lewis, who is in the final year of his contract. Then Lewis knows how his longtime friend John Fox has felt at times this season. For this to have real meaning moving forward, it has to be the beginning of a trend for the younger players the Bears want to build around. It wasn't just Trubisky and Cohen. Tight end Adam Shaheen caught 4 passes for 44 yards, including a 1-yard 2-count, his 3rd score of the season. That's what happens when he gets a chance to play. Safety Eddie Jackson had the takeaway trifecta with an interception of a deflected pass to A.J. Green and later a strip and fumble recovery involving Green on the sideline. "We've got a very young team, particularly on offense," Fox said. "It starts at quarterback. We've been able to him grow every week. This week the Bears seemed to let Trubisky cut it loose a little more, and sure it helps when Howard is gashing the defense and Cohen is finding holes too. We put the past behind us and focused on one drive at a time," Trubisky said. "We weren't going to dwell on the past and what we didn't do. We can learn from our mistakes, and it allowed us to be more effective today. What the Bears really need is for it to help them be more effective in 2018. Bumbigs at ChicagoTribune.com. Twitter at Brad Biggs. Steve Rosenblum. The Bears' offense was so good that it Fox-proofed the game. Bears snap 5-game losing streak with 337 win over Bengals. What the Bears can learn from the Rams' turnaround and Jared Goff's emergence.